Hey everybody, so this is the process I use when I'm making a leather bookmark. I went into my scrap box looking for a piece that would be about the size of a bookmark, and funny enough, the first thing I saw was about the right size. I just need to square it up. Since I'm using pretty thick leather, I just score it first, and then I continue cutting until it's all the way through. It makes a cleaner cut that way. Now I want to round the edges. I don't have a specific tool for this, so a trick I learned was to take a washer and just make straight lines all the way around the corner until you have a rounded corner. I continue that trick on all the corners, and then I finish the edges with a beveler. I try to keep it one continuous cut. Now I'll get out my stitch groover and mark all along the edge. At the last corner I would take a couple passes just to try to get a very smooth rounded edge. I thought it would be funny to use coffee to wet the leather, especially for the person I'm making this for. I'll get out my stamps and I'll make sure that it's the right way. On the stamp, it's printed how you should use it. There's nothing worse than having a nice cutout piece of leather and then stamping backwards. I've done that before. So here I just decide to put in a random spot where I would want to put a basket stamping. And then I thought something along the edges would look good, so I continued that all along the edges. When I get to the end, I tilt my tool so that it doesn't give me a full imprint, it just gives me a half so it lines up better. I go on to stamp another letter. and add the 2 dots beside each letter. I decided to give the basket stamping a little bit of an edge on both sides. Again, I cut very faintly with the knife and then come in with my swivel knife and actually make the real cut. I'll then take a tool to bevel the edges a bit and make them smooth. Next I'll come in with some spray adhesive and I'll coat the entire back of the bookmark so that it will stick to the leather I will put on the back. Once it's all stuck together, I'll just simply cut it out. Now I'll start hammering in with a pricking iron so that I can stitch this up. I will make sure that I have a piece of leather on the back so that I don't punch into my table. Once all the holes are punched, I use some dye to make it red. This is what they call oxblood dye. I think it has a really nice red color. Now I'll come in with some Resolene and I'll coat it and then buff it with some canvas to make it nice and shiny and waterproof. And then I'll stitch it up. One thing I failed to realize is that it was still wet with Resolene, so using white thread made the dye bleed into the thread, and I got about this far and realized I'm going to have to cut all this out and start over. Nice pants, huh? I feel like Shrek's brother. Once everything's stitched up, I just trim it. Now I'm going to dye the edges with black. I rub the excess dye on a separate piece of leather because I've had that drip on the project I was working on because it's so saturated with dye. So this is how I avoid that. Once all the edges are dyed black, I will slick it down with some gum tragacanth. and it's done. Looks like a bookmark to me. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. Until next time.